Welcome, Taurus. It's March 2017. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au with your month in focus, a brief synopsis of your horoscope and what the planets are indicating for you. And this month it's quite interesting to note that your 11th house is looking pretty good here with Mercury and the Sun and Neptune, along with your South Karma point, transiting this area that relates to friendships, your social connections, and to a large extent, the fulfillment of your life's ambitions. It really is a house of fulfillment of desire. And generally, most of the planets function quite well there. So we see that the month of March, at least up until the Sun moves out of this sector, should bring you some reasonably good activities in those areas of your life. We do see, however, the conjunction of the Sun with Neptune and Mercury also moving into conjunction of Neptune on the 4th. Neptune is it's a sort of double-edged sword, really. It brings you a great deal of idealism and imagination. For some of you, this can bring with it an opportunity to really connect with someone who has met that specific ideal that you have in mind. You have to understand too that this 11th house looks directly at the 5th house of romance and love affairs. So apart from this month being a transit related simply to friendships as such, this could have you idealizing or imagining and wishing, fantasizing for that perfect soulmate in view of the fact that it influences your 5th house of love affairs. The downside of this particular combination is indeed the fact that the lines are blurred. And when you are hopeful, when you are overwhelmed by emotion, as you sometimes are, then those people you meet may appear to be perfect, when in fact, with a little bit of time, a little bit of experience, a little bit of observation, a bit more of a drilling down deeper, you will find that they are in fact human. Not godmen, not Anunnaki from another planet with mystical powers. So it's imperative for you this month to really keep that in mind and not put people on a pedestal. We also see that by virtue of the fact that there are 4 planets in your 12th house. 12th house is the house of secrets. We see Mars there up until the 10th. When it then moves into your sun sign, that makes you a little ineffectual or lacking in energy or drive. And that can sometimes relate not just to your physical drive. That could be exactly what I've just specified there in terms of being a little bit lazy intellectually to actually drill down, to ask important questions. If there is a bit of a fuzziness around issues of trust or meeting new people, whether you have an intuition that something's not quite right and you just fob that off because you can't be bothered looking at it. You have to be very, very careful because this could indicate losses financially through misplaced trust. And if you listen to my introduction, it's all about trust and making sure you balance those emotions of trust with fact and your own personal experience. On the 13th, we see there is a full moon in Virgo. Well, see, this is what happens. Once you start to look at each of these planets, they start to compound into a particular thread or theme. And this month, 5th house again is Virgo. So the full moon on the 13th will be highlighting very much what I just mentioned here. The full moon, of course, is opposite the sun in its transit. So this is also then going to indicate an opposition, just leading up to this full moon, to Neptune. Very much a hypersensitive transit, one which can again blur your emotions and make you feel certain things that aren't exactly happening or aren't exactly true. So do be careful of that, especially leading up into the middle of the month, Taurus. There are some better sorts of transits that we see here later in the month. We see, for example, the conjunction, the conjunction of the Sun to Venus. That takes place in your 12th house. Because this 12th house has a lot to do with emigration, travels, it is a spiritual house as well. I'm just getting the sense for you that this could be time out for you. And that's not a bad idea, given some of these nebulous transits that we're seeing in the 11th house of friendships. We see as well the professional planet for you, Uranus, being in the 12th house, does have a conjunction taking place, and that is building throughout the month of March. But take note that there's a retrogression straight after the 4th. So just as soon as Venus is about to make contact, I'm having a look at your chart here, so if I'm looking away from you, I'm not trying to be rude. That conjunction is going to take place a little bit later. We'll talk about that next month. So just as it's making its approach, it starts to move back. So what this can be, it's a very strong link between you personally, and your professional life. So this has a lot to do with thinking about moving away, changing your work, bringing some new life into those areas. And mind you, you've had Mars, the planet ruling your marital area, also just having had that conjunction. So there's two areas of your life here that are hit with a sense of instability. For some of you born under Taurus, you will indeed be maybe not even expecting this, but having to make some changes in your workplace activities, or for that matter, your profession as a whole. So on balance, this is an intense month. The final transit of Mercury, the planet ruling your creativity, making a very powerful connection by its triangular aspect to Saturn on the 30th is a lovely one for any sort of communication, relationships, and building bridges rather than destroying them, I would say. Do tune in next month. I'll be back again. In the meantime, do visit me at astrology.com.au for more detailed analysis of the month of March, the year in focus, 2017, and day by day with your daily readings. Take care. Look forward to seeing you again shortly.